Alright, if loving you is wrong, fans, we're going to be talking about last night's episode, The Pardon, which was Season 5, Episode 6. Now, I want to be honest here. I really wasn't feeling the episode for a good portion of the first half. Now, don't get me wrong, that back half really got me going. Like, there were some surprises and good acting, well-written dialogue, but okay, so we get to like the first couple minutes of the episode. Brad calls 911, saying that there's a child here who isn't breathing. And first of all, I'm thinking, well, first of all, how old is that baby? He said 3 months. I'm like, how in the world is that baby 3 months? It didn't even feel like the baby hasn't even been born 3 weeks ago. And then in our time, in terms of how we consume the series, it feels like the baby was born like 3 years ago. But 3 months? I don't know. So basically, he's saying, oh, yeah, there's a fireman across the street. Let me go see if I can get him. I think he's in reference to Bennett. And that's when he rushes out of the house and then, gets hit by the car. Natalie and Esperanza rush into the house to see what's going on. And Esperanza, like, a baby should not be on their stomach for like their first few months after being born. It really can't do that. And he's like, well, I think Marcy left him on his stomach before she left. And then they're on the phone with 911 saying, hey, and I actually did like the fact that Esperanza took over, because if I'm not mistaken, her position at the police station is what, is it dispatch or emergency response? Excuse me, I don't know the proper terminology. I actually got friends who work in that department. I do think it's in the police dispatch. So I do like the fact that she took control of the situation, because that actually makes sense. Not to mention Natalie as well, given the fact she has a lot of kids. So I do like how the women just rushed in there and they utilized their talents. I really do like that. And then we have Natalie saying, no, we don't need an ambulance. And then we cut the theme song. Then we get to like 6 minutes of commercial. Yeah, I was kind of pissed off when we came back from commercial and then it turned out the baby wasn't dead. And I don't mean like, Jeremy, how dare you? You're upset a baby wasn't dead. I mean, you're upset that a baby wasn't dead. No, that's not it at all. It's just the way the scene played out. You could kind of tell that the baby wasn't dead, but I gotta admit, April did a good job with the acting, because I'm just like, the way she phrased and delivered the lines, which again, that's Tyler Perry right there. It's like, that's how he tells them to deliver it. It was cut well to draw suspense. However, if the baby really, let's say this is real life, if nothing was wrong with the baby, I don't think the line would be delivered that way. It's like, oh, we don't need an ambulance, the baby is fine, because it wouldn't be long and drawn out like that. I mean, at least I know in my family, let's say if something was serious going on, even when I'm trying to explain, you would get cussed out if you don't say it fast enough. That's how it happens. Trust me. You probably got people in your family that like that too. So in any case, the baby's fine. Basically, what was it? I think Esperanza was saying that it wasn't just a matter of checking like the pulse or whatever, but check the baby's chest to see if it was going up and down. So yeah, Brad is like, well, Marcy left the baby on. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know last week, maybe it's the fact that I've just lost all sense of time and direction in terms of what day it is, but I could have sworn Marcy left the baby on the coffee table. The baby was sitting in like the car seat or whatever on the coffee table, and then Marcy left. Brad was after Marcy left, Brad just kind of fell back on the couch, covering his face, obviously, because he's had a hell of a day so far. And then the baby starts crying, and then he opens his eyes, and then off screen, we can assume the baby was put into the crib or whatever, as Brad, was working from home. So again, I could be wrong. I could misinterpret. Maybe I need to go back and try to find the episode scene, but I don't recall Marcy being the one to lay the baby in the crib. I think Brad did it. That's my opinion. So we spend the first like 10 minutes in a back and forth conversation. I know where Alex is. Well, tell me where she is. Maybe we shouldn't tell him. Wherever she is, she shouldn't be there right now. Where is she? Long story short, it's just jabba, jabba, jabba. Where's Alex? She's at the bar. I don't care. Brad, you should go get her. No, it's not my responsibility. But it's like, you really can't handle the kids yourself. But that's, again, there's really no need of going back and forth here, guys. I mean, that's really the gist of the first scene. So it started off good. fake tension, and then we had useless back and forth dialogue. So once again, even though I wasn't a crazy fan of the first scene, I do like the fact that Brad freaked out. Yeah, obviously he's a novice at this, but at the same time, he showed genuine concern, which is great. I mean, even if the kid isn't his, obviously showing more concern than Alex would. Like I said, Natalie and Esperanza, how they swooped in there and took control of the situation, I like that. But then the following dialogue about who should get Alex, should they get Alex, I didn't care for. All right, then we go over to Terrell and Natalie. He's settling in. He's asking when Justice, he asked again where Justice. Wow, I apologize. He asked Natalie again, hey, when is Justice coming home from school? But then Natalie doesn't dance around the question this time around. She says that, hey, Kelly says, Kelly wants to talk with Justice before you two meet. And basically he's like, hey, do you have any bread? So, because ain't no bread in the house. Natalie offers some food to go along with the sandwich. I do like the fact that it's like, hey, come on in. It's like, well, no, I just got out of jail. But you're going to rob me? And then, yeah, it's like when people hear you've been in jail, they kind of look at you a certain way. But either way, they go into the house, have a good talk. Joey is name dropped, which is great. And basically, he talks about how, Terrell talks about how Kelly, they were young love and how things have changed now, even though he wants to, see if they could possibly get back together. I don't know if that's going to happen. So after that, we go over to Dr. Raston, who stops by the house to talk with Brad. Brad shows the doctor the dating website, and basically the fact that he says, you know what, after everything that I just found out, I definitely need to come into the hospital to be tested for everything. She also recommends a therapist. And, Brad is being snippy, but the doctor, just shout out to her for coming over. So, yeah, Brad was kind of snippy with everybody in the episode, but he did check himself saying, hey, I apologize, but thank you for coming by. I'm just going through a lot right now. So Brad definitely has some people in his corner. He's not going to have to go through this alone. So I did like that. Shout out to the doctor for stopping by. And then we go over to Pat, who comes to see Terrell. And Pat just seems to be popping up at random. So, long story short, this scene, she apparently helped him get out of jail. And, invited her over, for sex. And apparently the last time he's had sex was in a broom closet in the medical wing with Pat, and he got tested by her, so she knows he's clean, but she's suspect as to whether or not she was the only one. So when she keeps badgering him about whose house is it, ex-girlfriend, no, I ain't trying to get shot, and then she sees Kelly's photo, she gets the hell out of there. So then he calls up a girl named Leslie. Now, side note, I will be doing a video about this based off the ending of the episode. Do you think, because Kelly got out, which was a huge surprise, Kelly comes home and then Terrell's there with Leslie? Yeah, that's going to be a great first impression. All right, so Randall comes down to the bar, helps Alex off the mechanical bull. He's like, oh, wait, I drove you mad, didn't I? And then basically he is not through making life a living hell for her. And guys, thanks so much for supporting the videos I posted yesterday about the Terrell and Natalie bread scene, and Randall and Alex, and I believe the other scene was Brad and Bennett. So I really do appreciate when you support those videos. It means a lot because I gotta rush to get those done before the episode airs. So your views and your likes and comments do really show you enjoy them. So I know I say that in the middle of this video, but I just want to let you know I do appreciate the support you give me. And long story short, he tries to take her home. Alex ain't having it. Johnny takes out his gun because Alex reminds her that he's surrounded by just some good old boys, Dukes of Hazzard. And Randall looking around like it's training day. I'm surprised he ain't pull a King Kong ain't got nothing on me. Oh, y'all gonna do this to me? Oh yeah, you mother. No, he ain't do nothing. He just walked out. So Alex drinks some more, and Eddie goes by his Larry's office. I gotta admit, I'm actually a fan of Eddie's hair, the way it's kind of slicked back and whatnot. It reminds me of a Pidgeotto. If you're a Pokemon fan, you'll definitely understand where I'm coming from with that. But long story short, he goes on about how he wants to strike a deal. Not only the $200,000, because I know the church doesn't want that kind of bad publicity. I got a long list of names. But let's exchange information. Andrew Joy Pete versus all these ladies. That way it's not just a monetary thing, because I think I speculated this before. It makes sense. It doesn't matter if Eddie got $1 million from the church. If if Larry gets Andrew, Joey, and Pete to testify, Eddie's going to be locked up, so it won't matter. So basically, this is an exchange of information and money. He calls in Ian, and then basically Ian tells Larry that he hasn't found Carl yet, which is a lie, because remember, in the last episode, he told Lou, hey, I saw Carl in the courtroom, and he's going to meet us at the police station about at 3 o'clock. So he probably was lying, because as we see later in the episode, he makes up a reason why he was at the police station when he runs into Larry. So $50,000 in cash right now, but Eddie says he rejects the offer. He says he wants more, but apparently $50,000 is the start, in terms of, hey, this is the cash I can get you right now. So Ian leaves to get the money, and Eddie and Larry are just talking, and Eddie keeps rejecting Larry's offer for a drink. So then we go to commercial break, and then we come back from commercial. We have Esperanza and Steven. Esperanza is obviously coming back to the police station because her and Natalie tried and failed to get, Alex to leave the bar. Then her and Natalie helped Brad with the baby situation, and now she's going back to work. But basically, she's asking Steven for help to come down to the bar with her in order to get Alex back home. He says, let me just talk to Lou real quick, and then I'll help you out. Now we have Ian with Lucian, so we can assume it's 3 o'clock, because remember, he said we're going to meet down at the police station at 3. That's when Carl's supposed to come down. So off screen, we missed, Eddie getting the money, and I don't recall exactly from the episode. Somebody fill in the blanks for me. I know that Eddie pulled out the photos and all just to show that he wasn't lying. He has legitimate intel that would be useful, but I don't remember if he handed over the photos to Larry at that moment, because I do know that Ian went to get the money. So it's almost like, a money talk. Same time, I don't trust you, same time. But in any case, Ian tells Lucian about the fact that Eddie took the photos and whatnot and sold them for $50,000. Lucian is suspicious, doesn't trust Ian because he isn't really proving that he's an ally to them. But Steven tells Lou that the DA's there and wants to see him, and basically they run into Larry. Ian's like, oh, I'm here on such and such a case. And then basically he's like, oh, I'm here because the DA wanted to see him. So Carl is in the room with the DA. And this is where the episode just skyrocketed for me. I'm like, damn, this is great. So we got Carl, the DA, Ian, Larry, and Lucian. The DA ain't playing no games. She got the affidavit, I believe the letter, the official documentation that Pat gave Rick, who I believe that Rick gave it to Lucian to give to the Carl, the public defender. Not only that, somehow, Carl had all the photos and everything that Eddie gave Larry. Now, who's to tell Sister Margaret didn't give this information to Carl and I don't know. And remember when Eddie was at Larry's office, he said one of the women from the church gave the intel to Kelly. So did Eddie get photocopies of this for insurance? Just like, in case Larry tries to shortchange me, I'm going to get even more money if I offer this to Carl or whatever. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think Eddie had anything to do with that. But in any case, not only did Carl have the photos, everything. Larry tried to counter that saying, well, yeah, with these cases were settled out of court. Well, guess what? Just because these women, it's almost like the R. Kelly situation. Just because these women were paid and settled out of court doesn't mean they won't testify again. Because of the fact Carl contacted all the ladies and the DA said, yeah, despite those settlements, all of these women are willing to testify in court because of these allegations. So, wow. The DA is like, hey, get your church people. You better huddle together because she's going to launch a full investigation, cases on all allegations, and Kelly's murder charges are dropped. Larry Lee, this was such a great scene because I didn't see it coming. So Larry thinks Eddie's in on the scheme and says, you know what? I want to get that $50,000 back. Marcy and Brad, Marcy so damn fine in that blue dress. Oh my god. And yes, this is the blue dress that she seems to be wearing when she allegedly beats the hell out of Randall to a bloody pulp. But before that, when she, oh god, I can't, I can't, I'm sorry. Let me just get, okay. Long story short, she goes over to Brad's, well, you know, that Alex's house with the kids, whatever. Goes to see Brad, gives him information on the lawyer, I believe Larry, in order to get full custody of the kids. And the most important part about this scene isn't just the whole custody thing. It's the fact that Brad wants the kids get home. So maybe in the next episode, he's going to have a serious talk with the kids about what's going on with their mom, the fact that the divorce is finalized, the fact that, you know, he's possibly going to have to get full custody, and asked if Marcy could stay and talk with them as well. Marcy doesn't want to overwhelm. I mean, they both are making it. I mean, they're both making valid points, but Brad just seems to want to rush everything. Hey, Marcy, let's get married. Hey, Marcy, let's tell the kids everything. Me and Alex got a divorce. She wants to leave, doesn't want the kids. I had to get full custody, and I'm also seeing Marcy. So it's like a lot to put on. I can't even fathom as a child to have all that stuff dropped on you at once. But in any case, Marcy said that she'd stay to help him through it and talk with the kids, and also to move in. It's like, look, I'll move back in here. What if you move in too? It's such an interesting situation, to say the least. But damn it, if she was not looking good in that blue dress. All right. So we round out the scene at the jail. Lucien goes to tell Kelly the good news. I was kind of mad, though. Kind of like, Lou, don't play that game where you're going to stretch out the information. Just tell Kelly what's going on, because the woman can't handle it. And then she goes off on Carl as well. And then he smoothly says, oh, is that any way to talk to the man who just got you off? And Lucien unlocks the door to the, well, excuse me, Lucien unlocks the entrance to the cell. Kelly kisses him, and that's the end of the episode. But overall, the first half was kind of lackluster, but damn it, the second, oh god. I mean, I did not see the DA, well, I mean, the DA was in the trailer, but I didn't expect all of this to go down, which makes me think some shit's going to hit the fan, because this is only episode 7. But I am happy that Kelly's free. Hopefully she doesn't have to go back in or anything like that. Maybe the rest of the season will be her adjusting to Terrell being out, introducing justice to Terrell and whatnot. But oh my god, I'm glad Kelly's free. But regardless, what would I score the episode? Now, kind of like the Sisters finale or the Haves and Have-Nots episode 15 minutes, I'm always a stickler for, just because the ending of an episode was great, or maybe one or two scenes were great, that doesn't mean the entire episode was good. But this episode did have some great moments in it, even if it did start off kind of slow. I want to say that as of last night, I was thinking the 7.5, but I actually rewatched the scene with the DA, Carl, and whatnot. That scene, along with Kelly being released and just the emotion and whatnot, and then, you know, Brad getting help from so many other characters in the episode, Marcy, Dr. Rastin, Natalie, Esperanza, that was some really good stuff. And then even the scene with Eddie in Larry's office. So I'm going to bump it up to a solid 8 out of 10. I do think this was a good episode, and I'd highly recommend it. So guys, if you have not watched the episode, I urge you to, what's it, like the Watch On app, or find it on YouTube or whatever. If nothing else, watch the dang scene between Carl, the DA, Larry, Ian, and Lou. Because the DA won't play no damn, and Carl was so smooth, she won't play no games. Carl was so smooth, like Larry's like, so where'd you get this information? You know, my contacts are confidential, my sources are confidential. I'm like, this dude, there we go. All right, well, before the episode review, I did record my trailer breakdown for next week. So next week looks interesting, but the pardon, Kelly's off. Enough said. All right, well, with that being said, guys, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts on the episode. Do you agree with my score of an 8 out of 10? What were some of your favorite moments of the episode? Check me out on social media. Links are in the description below. Shout out to the patrons over on Patreon. And you can donate to the channel on PayPal or Cash App. And once again, guys, I say this all the time, but I really want to urge you, hit the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out when I post new content. Tonight, we got the Oval returning, so I'll be live tweeting during that. And I'll do my episode review and whatnot tomorrow. But overall, good stuff. Kelly's out. And Who knows what Larry's going to do next? Trying to get back at Eddie is not a good idea, if you ask me.